Welcome to the David Bradley Show with your host, David Bradley.
And howdy. What's up, people? Everybody having fun? So we had a gentleman on my show, and he was wearing a shirt, and I was curious, and he talked about her a lot. So I knew they were kind of like friends, and he told me, and I'm not going to lie, he told me if I got her on the show, he was going to come up here too and hang out. Needless to say, he's not here. So, got you, Seth. You owe me a Christmas present. So anyway, we're going to talk to Miss Brittany Bishop. How you doing?
I'm doing good today, David. How are you doing?
I'm freaking wore out.
What you been doing?
It's called a day job.
Yeah. Enough said. That'll do it.
You know, I mean, you're an aspiring musician and all that good stuff. You know all about that.
I've had a lot of experience at the day job and the night job.
Yeah, because, I mean, I got plenty of friends. They got the regular day job.
Right.
Then they do the music job at night. And I'm like, dude, when y'all sleep?
Never. The answer's never.
Yeah. According to Chris Turner, he gets 4 or 5 hours a night, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of others that told me 4 or 5 hours. And I'm like, well, hell, I'm on the same schedule as you.
Right. Might as well just pick up the guitar and just go for it now.
No, I can't. You know, I've tried playing guitar.
Really?
And I can't get my fingers to work right.
That's the thing. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel...
No.
There's like a disconnect between a million miles between the brain and the arm, it feels
like. And then you get the strumming in, and then you actually go to one string, and I'm still on the strumming up here, and it just don't work.
Yeah. It's not an altogether thing. You have to learn the two separate parts. Once you finally feel like, okay, I can switch the chords, then this is a whole different animal over here.
Oh, yeah. I can't do it. It's just, I'm not that talented.
Yeah. I mean, I played guitar probably since I was about 14, 15, and still you would think that I started probably 2 months ago. It feels like that.
Some people are like that. I don't know. I've got a cousin of mine, Jody. He's been playing, oh Lord, bass guitar. Oh God, for as long as I can remember.
Really?
And several bands up in Chicago, and he plays in bands all around in Chicago. And pound for pound, dude, he is the best freaking bass player I've ever listened to.
Really?
And I'm just like, it's you know, that's kind of how it goes, you know, because you have some songwriters, they could write that big hit and hardly nobody ever hears it.
Right.
And there's 1,000, well, let me retract that. There's probably about 5 million really, really, really good, talented, just guitar players in downtown Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
But half of them go unnoticed.
That's the thing that was the craziest is I played downtown for about 2.5 years. Just recently left. But the players that I would meet, it's just insane. Like you'll walk into every single floor and somebody is just top-notch guitar player. Like musicians down there, I feel like don't get enough credit because everybody's like, oh, you know, you're singing the covers, you're doing this. But the skill level that is just so normal down there is insane.
Yeah. I watched, oh God, I can't remember who it was. It was in a band. I can't remember. And I remember even asking about him.
Yeah.
But he's like, it was at a Tattered Sun show up in Glasgow, Kentucky. And the band before Tattered Sons went on had a 17-year-old lead guitarist.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, this kid at 17 could push the greats as far as skill and talent. And I was just like, God, he blew me away.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sitting there videoing him. I can't even find the damn video now. I guess I deleted it. I don't know.
I always think about that. Like, what was I doing at 17? Surely not that. Not at that level.
I'll tell you exactly what I was doing. Saturday mornings, it was wax the Mustang, get everything cleaned up, and then stop at my favorite spot, pick up a nice little bottle, and go hit the town.
Why not?
I mean, we cruised Rivergate. We did all kinds of stuff. And then I got into my band age when I was like 18, 19.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that was when the hair metal started.
What a time.
I know, right? And of course, that's when I started doing sound and lights. I mean, it fascinated me.
Yeah. I mean, that's a facet of it that takes so much preparation and so much skill. And it's an art in itself to decide what you like, because you control the mood, basically. You can control a big part of the feel of a show. With the lights, especially, sound is even huge. Like, a whole show can be made or broken by a sound guy.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my big pet peeves. Go to a show. Okay, wait a minute. These lights are not in time.
I bet that just scratches your brain.
Yeah, and you're turning around going, dude, what the hell, And then you'll hear that back feed. Oh, God. That squeal. I hate that squeal.
Yeah.
And it's like, just bring it down a little bit, will you?
Right.
Drop the 10K down, and the squeal will go away. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I would say. It's definitely a finesse kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, all the shows that I've played, there's been some where you just feel it coming on. You hear the screech, it starts, and then it just goes into the stratosphere. And I kind of ran out of jokes to, like, the audience to make it okay. Like, oh, that's our 6th band member over there.
Yeah, it's
internally just dying.
He had a little too much last night.
Yeah.
So,
but I respect those people so much because their job is way harder than what my job is. My job is like pretty much the fun part. Like you just show up and put on the show, and it's great. But those people are the foundation of the whole thing. Like I cannot be more grateful to all the awesome sound people and lights people have been able to work with.
That's like some of the shows that I've emceed. I make a point, because a lot of people don't do it, but I make a point to tell the crowd, hey, let's give a big round of applause for, the sound guy, the light guy. They did an awesome job for us, and I always try to acknowledge them, because that was something that always, it kind of got me a little bit, because you would do a good job and you would maybe pull off something that was totally just rocked every daggum thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, you're loading your equipment up and ain't nobody saying nothing.
Right.
And then you're trying to find the club owner going, hey, dude, where's my money? And, oh, he left 20 minutes ago.
That is the classic story.
Yeah.
Just a nightmare montage of finding club owners after little gigs. And
It's like send out the search party, man.
Really? Can I have my check and go home, please?
Yeah.
The McDonald's by my house has been closing early. I need to get home. Okay.
Yeah, I always loved it when you did a show and it's packed. Like elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, just packed.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, they say, oh, well, we didn't have that big of a crowd. MFer, come on now. There, Julie, are you happy? I said MFer. I didn't say the other.
Hey, it's a family show.
Yeah. Yeah. What? All in the family, or?
Let's go down this rabbit hole now. That is a pet peeve, though. I could totally see that. Like we didn't have a good crowd, or like when a singer. This is also my thing. When someone gets up there and says, "Well, I'm sick, but we're gonna try to," like making an excuse before you even do what you're gonna do. Like it sets people up to be disappointed. No matter what state you're in, you show up, you do the show, and be glad you did it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's and a lot of people don't get that. There's a lot that goes into actually putting on a show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, for one, you could spend 30 minutes just trying to figure out a song list.
Yeah.
Because you have to kind of figure out which bar you're going to and what crowd comes to that bar.
For sure.
You don't want to get up there and sing nothing but, slow dance songs at a Harley bar,
Yes.
It ain't
you got to throw some Skinner in there, know where you're going.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to know. It's crazy. I love it. Hey, Seth, where you at?
Literally. I saw him walking his dog earlier.
And he even told you.
In the trunk.
He told you he was coming.
We live at the same apartment complex. We live in the same building. Listen,
Oh, man.
listen. We are absolutely inseparable. We have been that way for forever. I mean, we met at this shitty job like years and years ago at the mall.
It's still there.
Yeah. And yes. So basically we got in trouble because like we met and you know he was gonna be the new stock guy. I was a salesperson, and my boss eventually had to talk to us because we would just get back there and just talk like we'd been friends for forever, and we eventually got reprimanded for it. We were like, hey, we should hang out outside of this little hellhole we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Have more fun.
The rest is history.
Yay. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was funny because he plugged you.
I know, he's amazing like that.
It was funny. He even wore the shirt the whole 9 yards, and he's
He
like,
did, because my merch, I went home to Texas for just a little country retreat, as I like to call it. And I'd ordered a good chunk of merch, this massive box, this first run I've been doing of this line. And of course it gets there about an hour after I'm driving my 14 hours to Texas. So I was like, amazing, awesome. I love that.
well, you know, timing is everything.
Yes, yeah.
And it's usually not ever on my time schedule.
That's
so.
the thing is like I haven't figured out this timing. I don't know if I don't know what I need to do to get on her good side, but
Yeah.
yeah. So he got that for me, and he took a little treat to wear to the podcast. I guess.
That's what he told me. He said, I stole it out of her box. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
He is the only person that I'd be like, absolutely, take two.
Yeah, I thought you was going to be like calling him on the phone going, hey, where's my damn shirt?
I got an invoice for you. I got a medium, and it's missing.
It's taped to your front door as we speak.
Yeah. Alan
Texas.
Jackson was just desperately calling me for one of those medium shirts, and now he can't get it because you stole it.
I know, right?
He was begging.
I would totally go after it. I'd be whipping his butt. Anyway, Texas. What town in Texas did you grow up in?
So, technically
Abilene?
Potosi, but Abilene's more recognizable, so we'll go with that.
Wait a minute, Potosi?
Potosi.
Oddly enough, that sounds familiar.
Really?
I drove truck for a living. I've been all over
That's
Texas.
True. I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah, that's what Johnny Cash sang.
Yep.
I've been everywhere. I don't sound like him.
So yeah, I love Texas. I grew up on a ranch right outside of Abilene called the Poor Fork Ranch.
See, I like Texas. I really do.
Yeah.
I love the whole vibe, the feel of it, everything. The only thing I don't like is it's too damn hot.
That's the thing. That's the thing. When I went home this recent time, like I remembered it was hot, but this was a whole different deal.
Yeah, it's part of hell hot.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I feel like hell has been raised up like 30 more floors than it was previously lowered
Yeah.
to, and it is closer now. Something's happening because it was, I think, 109, just plain and simple, not counting the heat index. 109.
Yeah. Well, I was Carolyn, my friend down in Bryan, Texas. She called earlier and was talking to me, congratulating me on the CMA thing that I got.
Which is awesome.
I appreciate it. And she was telling me, she said, what's the weather like up there? And I said, I don't know, it's like 84, 85.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, hell no. Well, what is it down there? We're in triple digits for the next 2-3 weeks is what she said. And I was just like, that's why I never moved down there.
Yeah.
Not going to do
That's the
it.
thing.
Not going to do it.
It was always hot, but it was just more than I remember. Like it was just absolutely.
Well, the only thing I didn't like during the winter months, driving a truck across there, it wouldn't snow.
Yeah.
You would get that freezing rain, and that ain't no fun.
Way worse.
Well, especially when you got 80,000 pounds on the box, you know.
I could see that.
Yeah, it just no. I mean, I was driving for a company that pulls double trailers.
Yeah.
And we were going across right there at Amarillo.
Oh, that's
and it was real bad right there. And we were just on the east side of Amarillo, and in the middle, in the median, there was a truck on its side, and the truck part, the cab part, was standing straight up in the air. And there was like 15 trucks slid off right in the median all the way up through there.
I think I read about that, actually.
Yeah, and I made it to an exit. I stopped at the exit, and I just shut it down. Yeah. I ain't going no more.
I mean, that's Jeff Foxworthy. Here's your sign.
Yeah.
Like, right there.
Yeah.
What more do you... If it's standing up, just stop it. Just
I've been
throw
like...
in the towel.
Because, I mean, they would have had to get a ladder or something up there to just get them out of the truck.
Literally.
And I would have been like, if that was me, I'd have just crawled back in the bunk and went to sleep and said, hey, y'all just wake me up, get me out when y'all get me out.
Yeah.
I ain't going to do it.
I'm not doing this right now.
So you started, when did you start the music stuff? You started playing guitar at 14, right?
Yeah. Man, I would say I started basically, I gotta think back on all that. Technically, my mom was playing Martina McBride records, Clint Black records, Dixie Chick records in my crib when I was an infant. That's what I would go to sleep to. Refused to do anything but 90s country.
Did she dip the pacifier in Jack before?
1,000%. She was more of a fan of Everclear when she did that. No, Mom, she's a good woman. She didn't do that. I promise.
Well,
she will watch this.
I actually had my first taste of Everclear.
And how soon after did you realize that was a mistake?
Well, it was a thing we started.
Do tell.
And it was, we called it Hunch Punch.
Oh, yes, I'm aware of this.
Yeah. So we just took a big old cooler and Kool-Aid, and I think the first batch we did had Everclear in it, Jim Beam, a couple of illegal substances, and only thing you needed was about that much. That's all you needed. And you was still conscious, and you still kind of knew what was going on around you.
Yeah.
But you were FUBAR.
One of those things alone would probably send you pretty good, but the combination becomes something extremely special. That reminds me, I was pretty young, and we were going on this lake trip, and so I got one of my brothers to get us some Everclear, some other stuff.
That was a good save, by the way.
Right?
Wink, wink.
And so we went to the lake, and we had our whole moment with that, and I came back just looking ragged as hell. And he just goes, "Did you have fun?" And I said, "No." And he said, "It was a mistake, right? Like I told you?" And I said, "Yes."
Yeah.
This might be the one thing you're right about, buddy.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do Everclear no more.
You know what? I think that most people, if, you're mildly all right, probably once is the thing.
Well, I mean, the only thing that ever got me worse than, well, actually, there was two things that got me worse. Good, actual homemade moonshine.
Yes.
That's more stout than Everclear. But it's Everclear would kind of hit you. I feel like we went totally away from a country podcast. Now we're on like Booze Incorporated or something. But the Everclear, it would kind of, you drank it, 4 or 5 minutes later, you felt it.
Yeah. That's instant, like.
Yeah, but the moonshine we had, it was like that sleeper stuff. Mm-hmm. You don't
know you're there till you're there.
Yeah, and then it's too daggum late.
That's the thing. So, when I was in touring around in Texas in that band, we had a guy who made his own moonshine, and he'd bring those big old-fashioned glass with the handle.
Oh, yeah.
Clear.
The jugs.
No telling what proof it was. I think 130 is what he said.
Yeah.
I think it could range up to like 180 because it's homegrown. I mean, you don't really know exactly.
Yeah, we always you put a little bit in a cap and you light a match and put to it. And depending on what color it was what proof it was.
Oh, okay.
That's what I learned. My dad taught me that. I don't know if it's true or not, but, that's what he taught me. And the other thing was Jägermeister.
That's another
I
toughie.
can't to this day. I'm telling you, we sat. I'm gonna tell this story. I'm gonna keep it short. But I was with a band back then called Mafia, and I was doing lights and sound for them. And there was another band that we all hung out with, and it was Just in Heat. And we were setting over, I'm not going to name any direct names, but it was me, the bass player, the guitarist, and for Mafia, and then we was over at the bass player's house for Just in Heat.
Yeah.
And we were sitting around in the apartment, and this huge bottle of Jaeger come out.
Mistake number one.
Mistake number one. And we were just sitting there and just kept talking, and we were just talking music and trying to be a little bit of creative with some stuff and throwing ideas, you know, all that good stuff. And next thing I know, the bottle's empty. And next thing I know, it's daylight.
Wait, how many people were we dealing with here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 6.
Okay.
Maybe 6 people, because I think there was a couple of girlfriends in there, and I didn't have one. So,
but you had the Jaeger.
but we had the Jaeger, and I remember having conversations and everything. We were all talking and cutting up, and then the next thing I remember is daylight, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go to work. Yeah. Then I remembered, oh shit, it's Sunday. I ain't gotta go to work.
That's the level of just out that it takes you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was just, and I can't, to this day, I can't even smell it.
It's like, it's got sort of like a demonic energy to it, I feel.
Yeah, and then it's got that cough syrupy type. It just real thick.
It doesn't feel like it was created on this earth. That's what I'll tell you. It feels like some evil wizard dropped it off at the beginning of time, and it's just an eternal curse. That's how I view Jaeger.
Yeah, I mean, it just, ugh.
So how I got started in music.
Let's get back to you. Hang on. And Julie, we're back.
She's like, come on now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I love a good rabbit trail, though.
Oh, hell, there's a family of rabbits around here.
Really?
Pick a trail.
Pick a trail. You know how those rabbits are.
I know, right? That's funny. Yay. Okay. So anyway, you started playing guitar at 14. What got you into playing guitar?
You know, so I guess let me back it up a little bit.
I kind of, almost pinpointed you more like a bass girl.
You know, I'm not going to rule that out. I'd really love to play the banjo. That's what I'd really love to do.
It's difficult.
No, yeah, that's the thing. It's like I get by on guitar. Like I used to do residencies, like 4-hour acoustic gigs, which a lot of time just you and a guitar.
Yeah.
But, I don't consider myself like I would not play on my own record. I leave my friends who are a lot more versed to do that.
Aw.
Yeah.
No.
But if you need an acoustic set done, I mean, every wedding I'm ever invited to, everyone's always like, "Oh, Brittany plays music. Let's have her do a whole hour of it," which I love, and I would do for the people I love.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of my skill set with that. But I always wanted to be. I didn't want to be limited to having to call somebody, or, I wanted to be self-sufficient in that way. As if be ready for the call. If someone wants to hear you and your songs, I want to be able to grab my guitar, go down there and show what I got, and not be scrambling like, oh, can somebody learn my song? Can somebody else do it? No, I want to do it.
I need a guitar player.
Yeah.
No, you can do it yourself.
I got one. Yeah.
Cool.
But, for the detailed things, like I said, my record, and if it was like a huge show or something, you ain't gonna see me doing it.
Damn. That's how them session players are making so much money nowadays.
And you know what? I will gladly pay it to them, because they are, especially the people I had on these last 2 singles that I've been recording, were just absolutely, I was floored.
Yeah.
By just the level of.
Oh, the talent.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, it's wild. I mean, I've seen, in my day, I've seen a lot of session players, and there's some out there. It's like you just kind of hum a few bars and they pick it up from there.
Yep.
And they just floor you with it.
Oh, yeah. And the way that they're able to not only have the song mastered after one listen or half a listen.
I got doors closing around me. I'm sorry. You know, and I apologize. I really do, because we've been sitting here talking and I've been having a good time, and I have totally forgot to change camera angles. Do that. I mean, I've just been leaving it on at one angle, man. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm getting up. I'm leaving. I'm going.
That's it. I'm done.
I can't work under these conditions.
This is not in the contract.
Also, my rider. I had an extensive rider, and I don't see any of that.
Look, hey.
I don't see the bounce house that I asked for specifically.
You know, it was raining.
You got me there.
And the neighbors complain when we get into the bounce house and we start bouncing around naked and stuff. They start going crazy. They can't stand it. They call the police.
You know, neighbors typically don't like that. I found in my experience.
Yeah, I know, right? But anyway, I digress.
But I guess my love for music really kind of, I mean, my first memories of it, I would say my mom was on the praise team. I grew up Church of Christ.
Okay.
So no instruments.
Yeah, I was raised up Baptist, so we had whatever.
Y'all had the fun. So y'all were jamming. Y'all had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope that was fun for you. No instruments.
I don't know. Sometimes I fell asleep. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. It was like the 4-part harmony basically.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom would bribe me to go to her early because they practiced before the service at like 6:30 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So she would bribe me with bacon and chocolate milk specifically, so that I would go.
The chocolate milk.
I mean, that still works. Anybody, if a bribe, that is still very valid to this day.
Oh yeah.
Purity milk specifically.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You know, the Purity Milk brand.
Absolutely.
Purity Dairies in Nashville, Tennessee. Da-da.
And yeah, so like I would lay on the pews and just be falling asleep or in between, but I would hear those harmonies, and the harmony aspect always really fascinated me.
Yeah.
Just like sonically, I was always really intrigued by that. So I learned how to do that really young. You know, I just remember asking my mom. She was about to take me to the roller skating rink when I was pretty young, and I was like, "Mom, I want to do that. I want to do what you do. Like, can you teach me harmony?"
Yeah.
Because that was my first real love as far as music goes. And, you know, groups like Diamond Rio and Alabama. Like,
oh, yeah.
I love that stuff. I think it's such a forgotten aspect, especially these days, with how powerful that can be in music and a song.
Well, the one thing, you know, even people that actually listen to rock and not country, you know, when they came out with that one song, and I'm not going to say the band name because I want everybody to scratch their head, all the youngsters out there. What is he talking about? But the song was Seven Bridges Road. Oh. And when that, talking about it, you know, I mean, it's just for that 7-part harmony. And every one of those guys was a lead singer in their own right. Mm-hmm. And for all of them to do that and do that Seven Bridges Road, I mean, it was just, it floored me.
Yeah.
You know, and then later on, like all the a cappella groups and stuff that they have now.
Yep.
I'll sit and listen to them in that movie that,
oh, you think Pitch Perfect?
Yeah, Pitch Perfect. I will sit and watch that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah. I mean, the soundtrack's great.
Oh, yeah.
The medleys they do and like the way they incorporate that.
And, oh, God. I can't remember the name of the band.
Give me a hint.
Mm-mm. No, I gotta figure it out. They do Mary Did You Know and a bunch of them.
Is it it's not the Gaither group, is it?
No, it's a...
Oh, the Pentatonics.
Pentatonics, that's it. That's it.
That's the one.
I love those guys.
Oh, unreal talented.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really mess with Christmas music that much. Like, nothing against it. It's not a big deal. But when they do it,
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's reinvented. Like, it's not the same song you've heard with the same arrangement.
Yeah.
Like, they completely blow it out of the water.
Well, that's what I love, because they actually they'll take songs and they will actually build it and bring it into what they do. They make it their own.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of a cappella groups. They don't do that. They stick to the basis of the song.
Sheet notes, the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing about pentatonics is they do all kinds of different chords and they take it places that it's completely.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's got to be so hard to.
Yeah, because when I heard, Mary, Did You Know? I was just like, this isn't how I remember this song.
No.
And it took it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
And it just totally because like some of those songs tend to feel kind of stagnant after a while. Every year, they roll them out. You're at the CVS, you hear the same arrangements of them every time. But people like that have, taken it and breathed complete new life into it.
Yeah. So that brought it into perspective for everybody that's listening, all 5 of them.
Love each and every one of you.
To understand what you were talking about as far as Church of Christ and how they did it.
Yes. I would not say that it was reminiscent of pentatonics in most times.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of older cats in there, but, a lot of those people did help me, formulate musically and develop in that way. It's so, I feel like, much harder to sing proficiently when there's no instruments behind you. There's no,
You got nothing to kind of hide some of the imperfections,
there's nothing to fall back on. So, that was kind of the thing. But basically, it was not encouraged for women to be flashy or speak on stage or do the solos and things like that, which was kind of just their deal. But, so my mom, she's a really cool lady. She became the music director. So she planned what songs we were going to sing. She was kind of in talks like that. And she kind of Trojan horsed me in there and was like, well, she's a kid, who's going to get mad?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So I started, I think I had my first big solo in church around age 12 or something. Like
Sweet.
That. And I just remember that feeling. I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I was like, because I guess I was always, growing up, I was trying to find my thing, as we all do. But, I was riding horses a little bit. I was doing some competitions at that, which I loved a lot.
I love watching barrel racing.
Oh, my God. I come from a family of them. So, yeah. My aunt still does it.
Well, I actually, a buddy of mine, he raises horses.
Yeah.
That was his big thing. And he drives truck also. And, I told him about, starting the podcast and all this stuff. And we were talking one day, and I said, what would be cool? He said, what? I said, any barrel racers? And he's like, how many you want?
Yeah. They're out there.
And I told him, I said, just get me a couple. I'd love to have a couple of women talking about.
Yeah.
Because I had... one of my first shows was Women That Ride, and it was about motorcycles.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm like, okay, well, we got the motorcycles done. Let's do Women That Ride horses.
Yeah.
Barrel racers, stuff like that. And he told me, he said, well, I've told 4 of them and gave them your number, and I never got a phone call from one of them. So,
classic barrel racer.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if you ever watched that show Yellowstone.
No.
You never watched Yellowstone?
Nope.
I pegged you as a Yellowstone guy.
Nope. I'm a John Wayne guy.
Okay. All right.
Now, I've seen some of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And I could totally fall in love with the redhead.
Beth.
Yeah, I could totally fall in love with her.
Yeah.
But then it's like during the first season, you start noticing the guys growing their beard out, trying to look like him, and they got the hat, they got the long coat, and I'm just like, SOA all over again.
Oh man, I loved that show. I loved that show.
I used to never see anybody ride a Harley with tennis shoes on
so it really like impacted the motorcycle community. I'm sure.
Yeah, because you've got to have a hard sole boot.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just dangerous.
I prefer steel toe if I'm riding.
Right.
And that's just because you don't know what kind of road hazard is out there.
No.
And you wear tennis shoes. Yeah, not quite.
Yeah, it's not exactly. Now that you see that, not exactly the best call.
No, but anyway. Hey, I warned you. I'll go on phone tangents.
I'll go on. I know, I'm like, hold on, were we talking about the Everclear or the Church of Christ or what was it?
No, we was actually on the Church of Christ, and your mom ushering you in.
Yes, I mean she was absolutely awesome, and that way I'm really lucky to have had family that encouraged me to be a musician.
Yeah,
they encouraged that because. I mean, to be fair, it's not the smartest life choice. I will be the first to tell you. But you only got one, so might as well just say I fully sent it and went for what I wanted. I mean,
it's like I told you before we got on the show. I did the license sound, and I had my fun with that.
Yeah.
And while everybody was going to the after party and all that other stuff, I'm loading gear out.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun with it, but I got away from it in 2008, and then last year when was it? In 2022, around February or March, I started getting that itch.
Yeah. It calls you.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, okay, I've done a lot, but I miss the whole everything about it.
Right.
And I'm a metalhead at heart.
Okay.
That's why there's an Iron Maiden mask over there and Iron Maiden fun pops.
I love that.
I'm a metalhead at heart, but I also love country music.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just about what speaks to you. I mean,
well, sometimes it's classical.
Yeah. I mean, music is all based on emotion and how it makes you feel. And so I never say like, oh, I don't like this genre. I don't like this one. Because there's always going to be some facet of it, of everything, I think, that would speak to every person.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was listening to your songs on the way home from work. And I listened to the first one, then went to the second one. And I was like, went back to the first one again because I kind of liked it a little bit better. Just because of the words and and it was just, it touched me better.
Yeah. Are you thinking Neon Lights? Am I going to guess? Yeah.
Yeah. It was something about that song. I liked it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I mean, that's been under my belt. I actually co-wrote that with Seth as I slammed my hand.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
But yeah, Seth and I co-wrote that one.
You slammed your hand in Grandma's table all the time. So
yeah, right. and that song was really, really close to me just because I was performing, 4 to 5 nights a week on Broadway. Mm-hmm. And I kind of hit this point where I was like, I didn't feel like I was doing what I wanted to do anymore. When you just feel like, I don't guess outgrow is the right word because it is.
No, it's actually, I know what you're talking about.
I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm so elevated and compared to people. That's not what I'm coming from at all.
No, it's probably still along the lines of one of the reasons why I got out of it. I just felt like I was drowning in a pit of nothing.
Yeah, it kind of started to feel like I was putting my heart and soul out there. Like if I perform, I'm all in it. It kills me to do like a half-assed performance. So I'm trying to connect with as many people as I can. And I just started seeing this kind of trend of people just being glazed over and just yelling, Morgan Wallen. And, I was like, is anybody here to is anybody seeing me right now? Like,
yeah.
I mean, and there was a lot of really lovely people that were like, hey, this made our weekend. Like, absolutely love it. And those are the people that I kept doing it for because my whole goal with that was just to have a human experience. A lot of people talk crap about the whole Broadway thing, but I actually defend some parts of it because there's so many talented musicians down there that play honestly with a lot of your favorite artists probably, and when they're off the road, they're making their living down there in the gaps. You know, there's
Exactly.
so many. I wouldn't trade the experience, the practice time, and the people and players that I've met for the world. You know, I still am friends with a lot of them, and I use them in my stuff. So
Yeah.
But it started to feel like a game of who can get everybody the loudest, the drunkest, scream the most, and not, you know, how can we do this well musically? How can we connect with these people and have like a real human moment? It became very manufactured as far as that facet of it. So I was like, you know, but a lot of great things about it, like I said. But for me, it's always going to be about the connection, and lyrics are so important to me in my songs. Like that's always what comes first for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it my way, and I wanted to say, you know, what I thought, and I wanted to prove my point. And you know,
yeah. Instead of hollering Morgan Wallen, say my name.
Yeah.
Say my name. Just once, say my name.
I think it was, I think it was such a necessary part of my journey, because I wouldn't, you know, how many hours, countless, of playing, leading a band, and cutting your teeth, and literally everything going wrong that could possibly go wrong happening. And so now when it happens again, I know how to deal with it. I know.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about it then.
And, but yeah, the reason why I do music is just the emotionally grounding. I want to be like my favorite songwriters are to me.
Right.
You know,
Who's your favorites?
Jason Isbell, Jim Croce are my top two favorites.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the reason why I like those two writers is because it feels like, at least from my experience, when I listened to them, I was like, oh, you know, I feel like I have a friend. I feel like someone's been with me this whole time and they've been through this experience. I don't feel as alone.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you get taken aback by, oh, this person's been through that too. And they have such a great way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost feel like more connected to your other people, your other humans after that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jim Croce had a way of touching people with his songs. You know, I mean, geez. And I can't remember. I think he done that song. I can't remember.
which one?
No, there was, the song sticks with me, but who done it never stuck. I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names.
What's my name?
Cat in the Cradle.
Perfect. Oh, that was not him. But
No, that wasn't him. That was,
who was that?
I can't remember. Isn't that the dude that went from one name and then went to Hamada, whatever? He became a Muslim or something and then changed his name.
I am not sure.
Cat Stevens. Was that a Cat Stevens song? Are you looking it up? She's not looking it up. Now she's looking it up.
Lifeline.
I actually had somebody that listens to the show ask me the other day, how's Julie doing? Because I keep talking to her all the time.
Julie, are you ever going to be a guest on the podcast?
No.
No, I will not. Thank you.
What's funny, though, people do hear you sometimes through these microphones. It's funny. It's hilarious, darling.
Co-star.
Co-star. And then once I get, we actually start doing more shows and stuff, and Caitlin will take over all the boards and everything, and she'll produce the show for me. So,
oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I can spend more time because I get caught up in conversation.
Right.
I forget to do stuff.
I mean, I would never remember to be switching cameras or.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when we started the show, I had to stop and then restart. And it's because I forgot to push that button right there.
I mean, there's just too many options over there, really.
I got options.
I got options.
I got all kinds of options.
As long as there's not a detonate button on there.
No.
No? Okay.
No, there's a fade to black and there's some other stuff. Ooh, I can do picture in a picture too. It's cool.
What is that?
It's picture in a picture. Let's see. Boom. See? You can see me up in the top left.
Okay.
Everybody's going to be going, what in the hell is he doing? Boom.
This is How to Podcast with Dave
How
Bradley.
to Yeah, well, that was actually one of my first shows.
Really?
How to Podcast.
That's awesome.
I didn't know nothing. I was just talking.
You know what? When you asked me if I'd ever been on a podcast before, I kind of lied to you because
That's okay. I lie a lot too.
yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Seth and I think it was during quarantine, we were really losing it. And we started one. We had no microphones. We had no nothing.
Yeah.
We just had a phone and we would get in the closet and stuff towels under the door and we would talk out of our ass for an hour and a half about news stories we had no sources on. We would talk about our personal lives that no one cared about. And then we would do a true crime segment with probably like 10% facts, like a skim of an article, and then we would retell it with absolutely wrong dates or no dates at all, just general vibes.
Yep. Well,
It didn't take off. I don't know why.
When I first started, the test shows I was doing and everything, right?
Yeah.
My daughter was in here, and she would read off her cell phone Reddit, not the asshole or am I the asshole or whatever it is.
Those are crazy.
And she would read the story, and I was making comments during it. And then I would, either they were or they wasn't, and there was a lot of times I was like, whoa, wait a minute, go back.
Hold on.
What was that part
They'll
again?
just throw like something in there real quick, like, oh, it doesn't, just secondary fact, and it makes the whole thing. You're like, oh no, that's insane.
Yeah, and I was just like, and we had fun with it, and I don't know how many views those. I don't even check those, to be honest with you. I mean, there ain't no telling.
Just do it because you love it,
We were just having fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I started this, just have fun, something to do, something to be creative.
Yeah.
So you just got to bring your guitar up and we'll be creative.
No, that would be fun. And maybe Seth Bunting will actually make it over here one of these times.
Actually, I've had a lot of people, 4 women in particular, picking on me about doing a pajama podcast.
Pajama, like a full-time pajama commitment or just like a one episode?
No, just one episode.
Okay. All right.
Come up, everybody's got their guitar, everybody's wearing pajamas. And
That'll be fun.
We'll sit around, drink, and sing songs and act goofy.
That's literally my top 5 favorite activities.
Yeah, well, it might be probably my longest show ever if I do it.
We're going for 7 hours, baby. Let's do it.
And I ain't editing nothing.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Hell, just go live with it. It'll be fun. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a different rabbit path that time.
Right. Always find our way back eventually.
Oh, God. Sometimes I wonder what my people that listen to this show think. Somebody please email me and let me know what y'all think.
Get a suggestions box.
Something, anything.
Yeah.
Where was we at? Do you remember where we was at?
Let's see. We were talking about, kind of how I got into music, and also we were talking about harmony.
And you were talking about playing downtown and how you just kind of faded away from that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing the recap part.
We are. You know what? We're getting back on track here.
We are recapping last week's episode.
Yeah, right. Feels like it. But I guess, so that was kind of my foot in the door as far as that goes. And I ended up touring around Texas a little bit as a teenager in a red dirt Western swing band, which was quite the experience.
Well, I can imagine because, a lot of people don't understand, and it's something I do know. The difference between Texas country and the rest of the world is daylight and dark.
Yeah. Yes. I'm very pro Texas country.
And back in the day, I was very pro. 2 of the top people I listened to in country music the most was Hank Williams Jr., Chris LeDoux.
Okay, yeah.
I love me some Chris LeDoux.
Let's see, he sings Tougher Than the Rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This Old Black Hat.
Yes.
That's a badass song.
Oh, man. I haven't thought about Chris LeDoux in a minute. But, yeah.
I love Chris LeDoux. It's just the way he was just a full-time rodeo dude.
Yeah.
Part-time singer.
That's the coolest thing is when it's genuine like that.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you're right. That's what country music to me should be, you know, when you have those experiences and you want to express them, you write them down in a song, and that's because that's the way our like forefathers of country music did it. That's, you know.
Well, you look at George Strait. He's farmed his whole daggum life.
I just saw him at Nissan a couple weeks ago.
Did you get an autograph?
You know what? He did not see me from about a mile that way, but
But I seen him on the monitor.
but I was close, yeah.
And I knew that little itty bitty spot down there was him.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom, she's always the best. She gets tickets to so many concerts because that's her thing is live music. And while they're here, we need to go see them. And I love that philosophy. I've benefited a lot from that philosophy.
Well, yeah, Mom buying the tickets.
Yeah.
Come on up, Mom.
It was my turn to buy the Jason Isbell ones for this year. So I think
okay.
I owe her that.
Does she come up for CMA Fest and all that stuff? Or
mostly she comes up to get her hair done a lot. She's a Southern belle. She wants it done right.
Well, where's she live?
Abilene, Texas.
But she's coming here to get her.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lost. I'm just lost.
Listen.
I'm loving Mom already. I'm telling you.
She is a Southern belle. She's not afraid to say it how it is.
Yeah.
She likes her animal prints. She likes her sparkles. She likes her blonde hair. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have blonde hair naturally in the family, much to the dismay of most of the family. So you know how most kids, like, they're like, oh, I want to dye my hair, Mom. And, you know, the moms are like, no, you can't do that. Wait till you're 18. Like, I didn't know anything about that. And my hair had started kind of turning brown. And my mom's like, we were at the salon. She goes, hey, do you want some highlights? I remember this. And I was like, what's that? She was like, yeah, you do.
Yeah. Bless you, Mom.
My baby's going to be blonde. And honestly, I don't regret that.
No.
Most of the time I am blonde. Not right now. But
Well, I think my baby's walking around with green hair now, isn't it? Isn't it green now? I mean, it's been blue, orange.
I'm that same way.
Yeah.
You got to try them all.
Yeah, she's multicolored.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fun.
I think when Halloween comes around, she'll go probably half green, half orange. I don't know.
Hey, why not?
It's a surprise around here.
I had an idea to do like half black hair, half like platinum blonde hair, and it was vetoed immediately by both my boyfriend and my mom. Vetoed immediately.
Okay, well, number one, and he's probably going to get mad about this if he's still your boyfriend.
Yes.
Number one, you ain't paying my bills, you ain't doing this, and there ain't no ring on my damn finger. I'll do what I want.
That is true. And I operate like that 99% of the time. But
Yeah.
I'll give him this. That one I think he was right on.
Okay. So you inadvertently made him feel that he was correct in that decision.
Because, you know, thinking about it, I don't like style my hair a lot. I kind of just roll out. How I will show up in public looking absolutely like me at the Kroger. You would not even know who I was because I will roll up. in
Pajamas, house shoes.
Yeah, whatever state I'm in. If I need a pack of chicken, I'll go get a pack of chicken at that moment. I'm not one of those people. So it's not like it. I think it would be a really great idea if it was all done up all the time and I was committed to doing that.
Yeah.
But if I did do the half black, half platinum, it would always be in just a state of disarray. And I don't think it would translate very well. So that
I'm just, I could just see you like on the cusp of making it in the industry, like 100%.
Yeah.
Where they assign you the hair and the makeup girl,
Right.
and you be in like a bitch fight argument and backstage going, no, woman, you ain't doing that. This is me.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a, I like to do things my way. Let's just say that. But when it's time and when I know somebody is more experienced in a field than I am and I trust them, I'll begrudgingly hand the reins over because I think it's important to know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I don't know. So I like to talk to people whose brains do work like that and do think that way because I'm not going to be able to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
I know what I know.
Well, I mean, I still remember how to do, because I'm a kid of the 80s, man. I mean, you know, it was all about poofed up
Yeah.
hair and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, we can get the hairspray
And trust me, it will do that. It will do that. I got these curls naturally that
Yeah.
just, I mean, you could, and it would blow up for real.
Well, say I keep threatening Taylor Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
She let it out on the show one time that she has naturally curly hair.
And it was straight that day.
And she straightens it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to catch her one time when she's not watching and doesn't know I'm around. And I'm going to dump a bottle of water on her head. I want to see that poof.
Hold on. Now, this is where I got to step in as a fellow secretly curly haired woman. Do not do that.
It'd be fun.
She could wrap around that mass of hair, those curls in about 3 seconds. You'd be done.
I know.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. But I'd be running while she's doing whatever she's doing, trying to save it.
Right. That's the thing is if I walk outside and I can feel like I just lick the finger, put it around, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be a bad time
Oh, yeah.
for what I've tried to cultivate here.
Well, it's, I don't know if we've got more humidity here than Texas.
I would say so. Yes.
Texas is more, you got a lot of sand and stuff in Texas.
Yeah.
So it's more of a dry.
It's a dry heat. It's not to say that it can't get that way because it absolutely can, but here, when I moved here, that was some different stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It took some adjusting for the carefully.
Yeah, open the door, walk outside, and be like, oh, my God.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, back on track.
Okay.
How many songs have you wrote?
Oh, man.
Not released. Wrote. See, this puts everybody on the spot. Everybody. Because there, some people even have went back as far as, oh, my God. I think I wrote a song when I was 12.
That's, yeah.
You know?
I mean, I started probably when I was like 11. I wasn't sure if I was any good at it.
Yeah.
Songwriting wasn't something at first that I really liked to do for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was because I was scared of it. But in my later years, I found that it's such a good release for things. That's not a groundbreaking thing to say. But, I would say probably over 40 if we're talking like complete songs.
Yeah.
But if we're talking half songs and voice memos on my phone, probably about 3,000 at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I'm such a perfectionist with that. And that's something you really can't. There's ways that you can and also ways that you shouldn't try to be a perfectionist about it.
Yeah.
I kind of always say, like, the first thing that comes out to me is typically probably one of the best lines, I would say, when I'm not thinking about it too hard, the thing that comes to you. Obviously, there's a lot of times you go back and you need to edit it, but honestly, it's such a crazy thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely putting yourself out there in such a way, but I feel more comfortable singing to a room of people than I do talking to them.
Yeah, I can't sing, so.
You can. Do you choose not to?
I choose not to.
All right. Respect.
Okay, so when I was young and my voice changed, my dad had a deep voice.
Yeah.
And he was in the church choir.
Oh, wow.
He was the whole bass section.
He was.
Well, it was a little itty bitty church.
There's not a lot of people that can sing that low, honestly.
Yeah, and he did the bass and everything, and then my voice started changing and it started getting deeper, and he pulled me up there with him, and he's like, "You can sing, get your butt up here," And I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to tell Dad no,
especially not in the church.
No, because you fall asleep, you get the thump in the back of the head, and you don't ever want to go to sleep again.
Those hymnals, they're thick.
Yeah, and he pulled me up on stage, up on the chorus area, and he was like the deep bass, and then I was like 2 octaves above him on that.
Wow.
So we kind of covered the bass section.
Yeah.
So, and it was a lot of fun. I had fun with that. And then when I was 19, 20, I did some vocal tracks for, like background singers. Mm-hmm. I did some of that in the booth with some people. And other than that, I didn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
My mother scarred me.
Should we unpack that or should we?
Oh, I can unpack it. I can tell you exactly all about it. Because I was in chorus at school. At Highland, no, not Highland Heights. What was the name of that school over there? It wasn't Highland Heights, it was the other one. Might have been Glen. Yeah, down there off of Cleveland Street. Yeah. Yeah, Glen. They had this thing that they put on every year. And the parents came and, you know, all that good stuff.
The whole deal.
And they wanted me to sing I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. But I had a problem with the lady that was playing the piano.
You had beef with this lady.
I didn't have a beef with her. I just had a problem with the way she was playing.
Okay.
Because the way she was playing it was not how I was singing it. So they decided 5 minutes before the production went on that I was going to do it a cappella. And my mom was like, you can do this. You can do this. Yeah. And I'm like, no. I was scared shitless up there trying to do that.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I did that. And later on in a group, I could sing in background vocals. Yeah. But when it came to singing out solo by myself, or like on this show, I can do a little something every now and then, and it doesn't bother me. But if I was to like be on stage in front of 20,000 people, I would turn 3 shades of white and keel over. That was it.
It is definitely not for everybody, for sure.
I just can't do it.
I mean,
well, that's why I always went to the production booth.
Yeah.
I was helping the show. I was doing stuff, and I was making people clap with whatever I was doing, you know, to go with what music and everything was going on stage.
Yeah.
And it made me feel a part of something. But then, you know, I couldn't get up there. That's why I always tell everybody, if you want me to sing somewhere, it takes a lot of contracts.
There's going to have to be several zeros in line for that.
Exactly. And you ain't even seen my rider contract yet.
What's something on your rider?
I don't know. I'd have to make it up.
All right. We'll make it up.
Make it up. I don't want the M&M things because that's just too much sweets.
So no M&Ms.
No
Here's what
M&Ms.
we know.
Here's what we know. Because a lot of people, you know, back in the past, they used to put a lot of stupid stuff in the riders. Yeah. Just to make sure that they were reading it. Mm-hmm. My rider would be simple. My particular brand of booze, which I don't really drink that much, but when I do, I like a particular brand. And if they sponsored the show, I would put the bottle right there. But anyway.
But until then.
Nothing. It's a particular brand. And I don't know. I just simple stuff. I'm not that demanding on stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, why put somebody? Because the way I look at it, it's not the promoter and it's not the venue that is having to make sure that this rider is correct. It's that person that, you know, is probably making 50, 60,000 to coddle a star.
Yes.
And you're working the shit out of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just not going to do it.
I mean, I feel like that's something that you hear those crazy stories about artists that's just so demanding, or like divas or anything like that, male or female divas. Yeah. And it's just, there's a real person that has to deal with all your BS. There's like a real person who could be doing stuff and instead is out getting an organic bonsai tree with a yellow ribbon tied around it or whatever the hell they want. I don't know.
See, that brings me back to Tony Orlando and Dawn tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. My head is weird, man. I'm telling you.
Hop, skips, jumps.
Bounces, ricochets, goes over here.
I get that.
Follows the rabbit trail.
Or a couple at once, honestly.
Are you getting wore out yet?
I'm not wore out yet.
Okay. You want another one?
No. Yes.
Julie, would you please?
Julie, shout out to Julie, y'all. Julie is the glue. Oh, sorry.
Glass.
It's it's been a minute since I've had like a nice bourbon. I don't really drink a lot either. I don't keep it at the house. It's not something I really do, but every now and again it's nice.
Well, I mean, I don't like, there's some podcast out there like two guys drunk or something like that. I forgot, and I don't want anybody getting inebriated.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with just having a couple of,
just being normal about it.
Yeah, just be normal.
Yeah.
Just to have a couple of, and you're good.
You don't always have to take it to such extremes.
I think, I don't know. Is that what you want?
That sounds great to me, Julie. Thank you. I feel like Nashville in itself has it's gotten closer to Vegas in the way that there's a huge drinking culture now. It's like there's less things to do and just more bars popping up.
Well, look, here's the skinny.
Here's the deal.
You can take a beer and the bar can buy that beer for $1.05. Mm-hmm. And then they turn around and sell it to a customer for $5.
Yeah.
Think of how much beer they go through in a night.
Right. I mean, it's the money making.
It's the money. It's all about the money.
The certain organization that I was playing for, thank you, cheers.
Oh, we're going to cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, darling.
But the one I was playing for.
I got to have the chaser. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that Mountain Dew. Redneck margarita, as we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
They sold them for $9 a beer. So the profit margin on that
is huge.
I mean, I get it. Why would you not? If they'll pay it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at some venues, it's 100 degrees outside and they got the doors open, windows open, everything else.
Yeah.
Well, they're saving a hell of a lot on electricity. Mm-hmm. They ain't got that air conditioner running, so it drives me nuts.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Whole thing. Where were we again?
I don't know. Recap. It's kind of like you want to go, okay, can we have the court recorder? Please repeat the last.
Yes. Julie's like, I am not typing out all of that.
Oh, she ain't even paying attention to me no more.
No. Ain't her first rodeo.
Mm-mm. How many rodeos were you in? Did you ever do the rodeo circuit?
I did a little bit. Mostly, we called them play days. So it was out in a town called Eula.
Mm-hmm.
And we would just compete out there. I competed a little through 4-H as well.
Yeah.
As a kid. But then, so as a kid, I always grew up riding Western, right?
Yeah.
My mom raised quarter horses. She's trained barrel horses, sold them, the whole thing. So I was doing that. And then as I got to be a teenager, I started doing English riding too.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to explore that. So I competed doing dressage, which is the real formal, like if you don't get your salute right, they dock you. Like you have to be.
I have no clue what you're talking about on a salute.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay. So dressage, there's nothing in the arena. There's just certain like points where you make certain moves. So you have like, it's almost like when the gymnasts will do their floor routine, but for horses.
Right.
So there's a specific pattern that's been approved or whatever by the association. So they know this pattern.
Yeah.
Depending on what level you're at, there's different things you can make the horse do, more difficult as you go up, obviously.
Right.
So you go into the arena, you have to have the right little blazer on, you have to have the right uniform, your helmet, everything. Nothing can be disheveled at all.
So like if you got a button unbuttoned that's supposed to be buttoned, that's a point.
Yeah, like they're so serious about it. So you trot in, essentially. You have to halt in the middle. And if your halt's too quick, dock you. Too slow, dock you. Not right across this thing, dock you.
Wow.
And then you salute to the judges, and then you continue on with your pattern.
Salute to the judges.
Right, yeah.
I'd be like...
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't typically like that one.
Yeah.
So going from riding Western, where kind of anything goes, to doing that was crazy. But I just... I loved all facets of horse riding. I really found it calming, and I think horses are one of the best animals, most intelligent, emotionally intelligent animals. Oh, yeah. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, because I remember watching when I was younger, The Horse Whisperer, that movie. Mm-hmm. And that was super intense, but it was, I didn't realize how much reality that was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I dated a girl that she owned a horse, and I went out there every now and then would help her, you know, clean the stalls and stuff. And it wasn't up until like the second or third time I had actually, because she told me, I have to formally introduce you. And I'm like, okay. And it wasn't up to that third time that she just didn't, you know, she was like, I'll introduce you. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And he was very happy.
I mean, they're smart. They're smart creatures.
Do you need to take a break?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. You doing okay?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if you had to go pee or not.
Not right now. I was like, do I look like I'm going through it? Oh my God.
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
I was just asking.
No, we're good right now. Yeah, they're so intuitive. And like my dad had this horse, this gelding, who was just wild as hell his whole life, his entire life. His name was Quixote, after Don Quixote.
Ah.
Yeah. I still want to get a tattoo of that horse. I love that horse. But he was just the spookiest, like muscular neck, big old thing. And when I was a baby, I would, you know, walk down to the pens. I would grab grass with my finger and like shove it through the fence, and he would just, those whites of his eyes, and he would bolt, and he was like, hell no.
I don't know what this little thing is.
Yeah, but he would take the grass. He was like, okay. And so as I got older, you know, he bucked people off his whole life. The last person that rode him, actually, he bucked off when he was old, like,
Wow.
like 20. Yeah, he didn't care.
He didn't care.
But I mean, one time my dad was like, well, screw it, let's put her on him and see what happens. Which was a horrible, like, what if that had gone a different way?
Yeah, you'd have been like across the field.
Oh yeah, you know, I've fallen off of a lot of horses, but that horse, from the second I got on him, not a thing.
Wow.
Never did one thing, because he knew, he'd seen me growing up. He knew that I was fragile, like as from a kid.
Yeah.
And I was different than just all these guys that hopped on him, and you know.
Well, he was more like family.
Yeah. And so he'd seen me growing up, and he just knew that he needed to protect me, and that there was, you know, this was not a typical case. And so he would make that noise. He was all scared. He was scared that I was on him because I was smaller, but he just walked, and he didn't ever do anything. I ended up taking him to the rodeos and stuff. And there was one time where I happened to be warming up, just this tiny barrel race. It wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
But they happened to be letting the broncs out at the same time. They didn't see me on this certain path warming up. So I guess the way he told it, my dad looked up and saw this just herd running towards me because they were funneling them into a back field. And he just goes, oh, she's dead. Like Quixote. I'm like, there's no way that this is going to go, because that horse spooked at everything. And I saw the whites of his eyes, and he just planted his feet, and they ran all around us. And he just tense sat there.
Oh, man.
Didn't move a muscle. Didn't do a thing.
Well, he stiffened up in case any of them hit him, he would protect you.
Right. And it was the coolest thing.
That is awesome.
Connection. Yeah.
That is awesome. And see, now everybody knows you as a horse person.
I would say my skills were not nearly what my mom and my aunt were able to do, but
yeah, but you could take all those experiences now, and they can be in your songs. They can be, and this really makes you who you are.
Oh, 1,000%.
That's why I like talking about life experiences.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just, I find it fascinating, and you can really tell more about a person.
Oh, yeah.
And now, you know, the 5 people that are watching me are actually hopefully looking for your music.
Hey, which is coming soon, y'all. I've been in the studio. I'm so excited. I've been working with a guy named Bobby Holland. Shout out Bobby. Who's absolutely
Bobby.
amazing.
I've heard great things about Bobby. I've never met him.
You know what?
But I've heard he's old school with that new technology stuff, and he's just like killing it.
It's just so cool to, you know, because I had put out an EP a few years ago with some of my friends from college, and I had a whole shift of trying to figure out who I was when I came here, because I was in that band, you know, I was the person that was blasting Merle Haggard on the way to the function in high school. My friends hated me for that.
Well, I can imagine.
But yeah, it's not exactly the hype younger generation anthems, but I was here for it.
Yeah.
So, and then coming here, and right when I moved here, 2015, it was the peak of like Florida Georgia Line's reign. It was like that pop country. Yeah, thank you. I wasn't gonna say it. I didn't know who was gonna say it. Not to, not. If
Well, the camera's on you, so I'm.
if somebody likes that kind of music, I'm never gonna come up to you and be like, if something makes you happy, you do it, you go with it. But
Yeah.
it was very disheartening as far as seeing where the industry went at that time, because it was not. You lost your George Straits on the mainstream level, at least. There's always been people putting out good music, but what is promoted, what is pushed, and what the big organizations are willing to recognize as top, because they have such say in that. We lost the George Strait element of people having an experience, feeling like they needed to process it, and writing a song about that because it was true and it helped them get through it, or they had felt that way before. It just became, it felt very faux to me. It felt very Mad Libs, but with different country words. And so, I had a lot of people, because I was coming to town, I was writing these old school songs. And
well, I mean, the Texas background too really helps out with that.
Yeah, I mean that's the music I love. Like I love Turnpike Troubadours. I love Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen and people like that. Ronnie Bingham, that whole thing. I love those people, and growing up, listened to a ton of that, which is kind of crazy because Texas has its own ecosystem of music that hardly ever makes it up here.
No.
So it does, but in Texas they'll sell out amphitheaters, they'll sell out, tons.
Oh yeah, and coming to Tennessee, and you might have 20 people maybe show up.
Literally, yeah.
And I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, so I kind of had a crisis of like coming in with that, the old school stuff. I was like, I love this kind of music. I love to listen to it. I don't know if I want to make it, and then people telling me you need to write more contemporary songs. The pop country is what's in. And I think I wrote about 2 of them before I wanted to go fling myself into oncoming traffic.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and not a knock on people who do that, because that's like, but for me and my experiences, it didn't feel authentic for me. And so that's why it was hard,
It's what I call cookie cutter. You can take the cookie cutter and you can do this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually somebody's going to stick.
Yeah.
But the way I feel, if you're going to take a chance and you really love on what you're doing and it's making you happy, then do you, boo-boo.
Hey, there's that phrase.
There's that phrase again.
I mean, it's a good one, because there's no other way to do it, especially with something like music. I feel like it's so evident. You can see right through if somebody's BSing,
Oh, I hate the fake stuff. I can't stand it.
I do too. And it's like, I don't see it's not music to me anymore. It's like, it's not music to me anymore if you cut out the heart and soul element of it, of I'm doing this because it happened to, and you can write other stories, and it doesn't have to be necessarily true to you, but it all relates back to things that you've been through and emotions you've had, and it's important to you. Like but just trying to see, okay, let's look on the algorithm and see what's trending right now. What is like, that makes me crazy, dude. It makes me crazy.
Well, that's what.
It's soulless. Like it's horrible.
Well, it's like I told you, before we got on here. Everything that everybody told me to do.
Yeah.
With this show.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Not gonna do it.
I mean, tank top, Julie, we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I like to be comfortable when I'm doing this, because I'm a fat old man,
Both rocking the gray cutoffs.
Yeah, well, at least you got the cool one with Tom Petty.
Pensacola Beach is pretty fun.
Never been there.
What?
I've never been to Pensacola Beach.
And this is the inauthenticity I've been talking about.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, no, my parents always went to Panama City Beach.
Man, I did a run of shows there in March, was it?
I was surprised. I went down there with my son when him and his fiance got married. And I love Melissa to death. She's great. Gave me a great grandson. He's awesome. He's got a birthday coming up. And they got married on the beach.
Oh, wow.
And I hadn't been down there in like 10, 12 years. And I go down there and I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's just like so grown up, and there's all these new clubs all along the beach and everything else. I mean, you could just go down there and live and
literally
party, surf.
And we did that for about a week. It was surviving on, what was it? Those little tuna meals with the crackers where it comes with the relish.
Oh, yeah, the StarCast. Yeah, the lunch
Not
tuna.
knocking them. I like them.
I do too.
We were in this band house, and it was just me and the guys, and we just lived like absolute bums for a week. But it was an amazing time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect the beaches down there to be as beautiful as they were. Like, I thought it was going to be like seaweedy, that kind of thing. But no, it's that good water. It's that white sand.
Yeah. I mean, it's gorgeous down there. Everybody tells me Pensacola Beach is a little bit prettier.
Really?
Julie's over shaking her head. So
I trust that. That source is trusted.
I think Julie's been there, and I know her son Brian. He used to go down there like 2-3 times a summer.
Oh wow!
He loved it. I mean, if he had his way, he'd sell everything he owned and move down there today. But who knows? I turned 65. I might be down there.
Yes. Screw it.
I just got to stay warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just. I don't. Too many people put too much stock in these algorithms.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to do analysis all the time and figure out what clicks. And to me, the bottom line on all that crap is you're never going to predict it.
No.
You might hit it every now and then, but you're never going to predict it. There's no way. And there's no way you can base somebody's style, song choice, hair color, tours, all this other stuff off of algorithms. There's no way,
chance.
But you're taking the realism of the human aspect and you're canceling it out. And this is what writes your songs. That's the whole
thing of it. Like,
yeah,
I always just want to like scream, like, why did we all start this? Why did we all, from the beginning of time, why was there music? It was to release emotion. It was to connect with other people. It was to what moves you, what feels.
It was, and a lot of it, because I've talked about this several times on the show. You can actually trace music, whether it was beating on a log, some kind of drum beat. I mean, the beat, the tempo goes all the way back to caveman days.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always been a part of us. It's always been part of our soul. And it's just amazing what music can do,
Yeah.
Why do you want to screw with it so bad?
I just part of me feels like music ceases to exist if you're not putting your heart in it. If you're just trying to, just the way that it's all been restructured so recently, honestly.
Oh yeah. You got the AI stuff now.
Which people are really scared about that, and I am scared about it too. But I don't think you're never going to be able to replicate someone singing their heart out. I fully believe that. You're never going to, no matter how good that software or whatever gets, you're never going to replicate experience of watching someone you love sing, or that's just putting their all into it, being in a room with them and having that shared experience. Yeah. That's what it's all about for me, and that's what I want to keep it about, because me and my songs with my kids are like the most important thing. Yeah, besides my 2 Persian cats. But, that's what it's all about for me, is whether you relate to it or not, whether you like it or not, I just hope that someone out there feels like somebody gets it, and that they have somebody in their corner that's been through that too.
And that's what algorithms can't pick out.
They can't do that. They cannot connect with other people emotionally. And the whole thing about like TikTok and trying to compile what you're doing into these tiny clips, because nobody keeps attention span on something for longer than I have such a trouble doing that because, and I might be the biggest idiot in the world for not having used TikTok so far.
No, you're not. I mean,
but I just, to me, trying to make something meaningful and how important what I'm saying is and how important it was for me to be able to heal and process through this song, I don't want to try to compile that into fun clickbait for preteens.
yeah, well, I mean, you know, there's
not to not, like, I sound like kind of rude right now, I feel, but
no, you're not being rude, but
because people who love that and they do the clickbait thing and that's how they get people to their songs by doing funny pranks or whatever they're doing.
My daughter does my TikTok, and it amazes me because she'll take a part of the show and put it on and everything. 600 and something views here, you know, 300-400 here, couple of thousand here, you know, and it's all over the board.
It's wild how it works, though, how you can get exposure from that. That is the great thing about it from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm probably going to have to give in and, but it's at the same time, I don't know, like we were talking about earlier, just because everybody tells you to do something, you know, why not be, the things that make us different, I think, should be celebrated and are what draws people to you as an artist. Because it's such a narrative now when you talk to like marketing people or like kind of that deal. It's like, okay, well, this worked for this person, so you need to do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, well, we already have that person.
Yeah.
What about, you know, to me, I'm like, does it cheapen my song to try to make a little TikTok about it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, see, to me, when they do that, just like we was talking earlier, you know, with the style and the certain things you got to do. And I don't know if you noticed, but I've noticed some people doing the same stage presence moves. I've noticed some of that too. And I'm just like, you know, I've seen it before.
Right.
You're not holding my attention.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it out loud in front of everybody else, but in my head, I'm sitting here thinking, you kind of sound like her too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, just be you.
And I mean, that's the most important thing at the end of the day when it comes down to it. Like, you're an artist. You're not an emulator, you know?
Exactly.
That's what you are. That's your thing.
Yeah, but right now, this person that's the artist standing in front of them is working her ass off. And this person over here is still working their ass off, but they got $15 million in the bank.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they've got a team and a stylist and this and that.
It's all so
This
curated.
person's doing it all themselves.
Yeah.
You know? So don't look, this person here, I would put more faith in her than I would the $15 million. Yeah. Because this person's more in the heart and the soul. And I'm probably going to get my butt jumped over this, but anyway, not by her. Somebody will be hating on me now. You need to quit hating on people. I'm not hating on people. If it works for them, it works for them.
Yeah.
You know, but to me, there used to be a term back in the 80s and 90s. And it was like, you ever seen the Austin Power movies?
Yes, it's been a minute, but yes.
And remember where they were talking about he was, no, it wasn't. Wait a minute, who was it? Wayne's World. It was on Wayne's World.
Okay.
And Wayne had his own show and all this other stuff. And he signed with a manager and got his own program on a big station.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next thing you know, he's like, no, I'm not a sellout. Have another Pepsi, you know?
Literally. Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, I can't be that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that way. Because I'm not going to have somebody else tell me that I need to change who the hell I am for a couple of $100.
Right.
It ain't going to work.
I mean, there's something to be said for if someone's trying to change what you're doing. You got to where, you know, as an artist, as whoever, you got to where you are because you had your quirks and you were your own person, and that's what got you in the room at all. So why then do they go and say, well, this is working for her, so we need to do this aspect of what she's doing, and this is working for him. So, I mean, it's not even a lot the artist's fault so much these days. It's because I feel like it's more the bigger system that's trying to streamline everything, make numbers crunch, but trying to quantify music and an image, and it's all so, it feels devoid of any of the whole intent of music in the first place, in my opinion.
Yeah, and honestly, you're exactly right, because I don't know if you've noticed, but the independent artist is growing in numbers, and the signed artists are dwindling in numbers.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing a whole movement here, because honestly, with the technology, the social media, the podcasters that are actually doing interviews and helping artists get their voice out and have conversations and be seen by a bunch of people. You can put your music on Spotify. You can put it on iHeart. You can put it anywhere you want to. You can put it on all of them at once if you want to.
Right.
You know, and so tell me where the record label comes in.
I know.
You need a booking agent? I can find you a booking agent.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of independent booking agents. A bunch.
Yeah.
You just got to find the right one that ain't trying to screw you over.
That's kind of the thing where I'm at right now, is like, I've got the songs and some really great people to help me make them happen, and just couldn't be more grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's kind of what I was saying of like, know what you don't know.
Yeah.
As far as, because I could drop something on Spotify, but without any strategic planning of it, ain't nothing going to happen from that. So
how do you know?
I don't know that. But I mean, I have done it before, in where I was very inexperienced with what was going on. And
only thing you got to do is find a 14-year-old.
I don't really much like to find those.
Not in that way. I'm talking about a 14-year-old that knows the social media and all that stuff, because this younger generation, I mean, it's weird because my granddaughter's 10.
Wow.
And if memory serves me correct, my daughter put some kind of block or something to where she couldn't watch certain things. Yeah. And she bypassed that.
Said, good, next, try again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's different. It's weird stuff. But, I mean, you know, really, if you find somebody that's actually really, really good with the social media stuff and can, the monetization thing is the hardest thing to figure out.
Right.
You know, but if you can get somebody that actually knows all that.
Yeah.
You don't really need a record label anymore. And I think that's what's got them scared shitless right now.
And you know what? Maybe they should be. I think
they should.
I mean, I'm sure there's some out there that want to genuinely still find talent. They want to be able to take that person and broadcast that, but I probably don't think it's one of the big ones.
Well, see, you used to, if you got signed by a record label, okay, you had a cash allotment, and that was for your recording, your promotion, everything. This is what the record company gave you. You paid it back, and they would help you get out there, and you would play your music and album sales and all that other stuff.
Right.
And you get rich, but they got richer.
Oh, yeah, always have.
and then the one thing that amazed the hell out of me, which I don't think anybody's really telling the full details about this, but I heard Jelly Roll say on a podcast when he done his record deal, he got the Jelly Roll deal. And he was business smart, whether it was him or Bunny. I don't know which one, you know, did the deal with him or whatever. Right. But he gets to keep the biggest majority of his money. He owns the rights to his own songs. Nice. You know, so, I mean, if nothing else, Like if his music career fizzled tomorrow, he'd make a fortune off managing other people.
Yeah.
You know, and getting everybody the Jelly Roll deal.
Being able to secure a deal like that's almost unheard of these days, I feel like.
It's your freaking music, man.
Yeah.
You wrote it, you lived it, you breathed it, you bled for it.
And somebody in an office wants to own it.
Exactly.
That's the thing with Taylor Swift that just is mind-boggling to me, that she just said, okay, you're not giving it back. Because they sold her catalog. No one even asked her if she wanted to buy it. They were so slick with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No one even asked her about her whole thing that she put her life into, if she maybe wanted to. But I like how she handled that. Didn't stick down in the hole of that negativity. It was just like, you know what? I'm going to re-record them. And they've been charting like insane. Yeah. Every single one.
I mean, it's all in how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's weird, because a lot of people do the, you know, it's like the songwriter rounds. Mm-hmm. Okay. 3-4 people. You write a song. Okay. Well, if everybody puts a little piece of something into the song, then it's all 4. Yeah. But if the janitor walks by and says, well, you ought to put this word in there. Well, he just got a mechanical license.
Yep. Third forward.
You know, okay. I mean, I don't know. It's just me. I'm weird. I'm crazy. I'm weird.
Hey, you know what? If somebody's not, don't trust them.
Oh, God.
I believe that.
Yeah, I can't believe you how many times somebody is, you know, and all through my whole life, somebody come up and have a conversation with you or something, and you just feel the scheming in their head, you know, and it's just like, I don't even want to do with you, dude.
Scheming.
Just feel the scheming. You know?
I mean, definitely, like, I was approached a lot of times just after shows and stuff of like, oh, I can help you out. I can do this, you know, and you can, I mean, I've got a pretty good BS meter, so.
Actually, what I tell people, like when that stuff happens to you. Yeah. Did you hear the music? When they come up and they start talking to you, right when they first make their introduction to you, you should have heard the music, and it was dun-um, dun-um.
I mean, I've got some actually really great people that have helped me in so many ways, and you know, made things possible that I never would have been able to do. Yeah. But there's a lot of snake oil salespeople around as well.
Oh yeah, I call them sharks.
Sharks, yeah, that makes sense.
Because they all want to take a bite.
And you know what? Sharks can't ever stop moving.
That's right. Yeah. That's why I felt like I aptly named them.
Yes, I would say it's appropriate.
You know, and I tell everybody, you know, the only thing you need is a shotgun. You're good. Da 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 da.
There it is.
I'm pulling this out.
Getting over that Yankee Doodle Dandy trauma.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know. My favorite church song was always "Little Talk with Jesus." Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. You know that song.
I do know that one. It was a little jaunty for what we would do back in the day, but, you know, we did it every now and again.
Yeah, but when I quit singing the bass part, in your head, you was going, tell them all about our troubles. He will. Oh, you didn't bring up that part? Okay, never mind. I'm good. I'm good.
I didn't know we were collaborating on it.
Everything's a collaboration.
That's true.
Ooh, you went to Belmont.
I did, yes.
And you got your degree.
I actually finished. I know, it was crazy.
Awesome. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was definitely tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belmont is one of the tougher ones.
Yeah. So there are these kids that have been proficiently piano trained from the time they were breathing. And I was just like, hey, y'all, I'm Brittany. I just came off the bus from that Western Swing Band, and I'm ready to sing some songs with y'all. And I really had a hard time fitting in, I would say.
Well, I can imagine.
I said, I can tell that from the second that you got here.
Hey, would y'all like to go cow tipping later?
Well, yeah. And I mean, especially just, I don't know, you know. It was definitely quite the collection of people all in one place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you was kind of like a little country girl in Juilliard.
I was, but it pushed me, and pushing is good sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely close to the brink at times when we were studying opera and things like that I had no idea about or how to do.
I appreciate opera.
I do too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Especially when they start singing in different languages and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to sit here and read a daggum thing to see what the hell they're singing. I'm not going to do it.
I mean, that was one of the things that I actually did enjoy about it, is that like we would take a listen through first and just feel the emotion of it without knowing the words to it, and just try to get a sense for it, and then go back and get the context of the scene and what was happening. And my brain just enjoys unpacking stuff like that. But in my casual day to day, am I gonna crank the opera? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I like plays.
I
love going to plays. That's like in high school, for an extra credit, you could go to summer school and take 12th grade English. And I learned more in that 12th grade English during summer. And the whole daggone thing was on plays.
Oh, cool.
And the stories of Shakespeare, Macbeth, all of those. And I was just like, it really opened me up, and I learned so much from it.
That's awesome.
And I loved it. And I got the extra point. So
I mean, teachers are absolutely amazing. Just the ones that really care about it, and they really want to help the kids learn, and it inspires them, and they want to show that to other people. And the way you teach it is so important, because throughout school you'll kind of hear repeats of the same stories sometimes as you cover it in different grades, I feel like. And just, not that I didn't really ever have any like bad teachers, but there was just one teacher specifically in high school that taught it in a way that was so intriguing. And it took you way deeper into it, rather than just, okay, popcorn reading around the class, everybody read it, whatever.
Yeah.
It was like digging into the text. What is, in Grapes of Wrath, what does this specific thing represent, this object? Why did the writer choose that? Really cool stuff.
Yeah, kind of, I call it dragging you into the story.
Yeah.
And once, that's like a good book. Turns into a movie in your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it, you can feel it, you can almost smell it.
Yes.
And it's cool as hell. But that's what I like about my music too.
I was just going to go there.
I love it when I can hear a good song and it makes me feel.
Right.
Because that's what I'm all about. Music, and it makes me feel.
That's what it's all about. I mean,
of course, sometimes it makes me cry when I shouldn't be crying.
Yeah.
Then everybody's pointing fingers and laughing at the old guy. But anyway.
What's a song that makes you cry guaranteed every time?
Guaranteed every time?
Yep. I got mine.
See, that's hard for me to say, because I'm divorced 3 times. And music helped me through a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it escapes me the actual name of the song. There's a couple of Evanescence songs that will get me. There is a couple of Creed songs that will get me.
Hey.
I mean, it's just different things. And on the movie side, if they have an actual song in it, doesn't affect me that much. But that composer, that movie scorer for that particular scene, Sleepless in Seattle, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm all over it. And yeah, rom-coms.
Yeah.
Several of those have gotten me. But it was, the whole, how the music was added in by the composer during those certain times.
Yeah.
And the emotion that this composer put into that music. I could probably turn the movie off and just listen to the soundtrack of the composers,
Right.
you know, and it would probably get me.
I always thought that was a really cool job to have, to be the one that handpicks I guess the MD, musical director, maybe, the songs to go.
Well, according to, what was his name? Oh, shoot, I'm going to get shot over this one. I just did his show 3 weeks ago. Peter Howard.
Sometimes all it takes is to get that
Just
phone
pick
out
the
and look
phone
at
up.
it. Yeah.
Peter Howard, come on.
Mm-hmm.
He's from L.A.
Okay.
That's what he does.
Oh, wow. That would be so interesting to talk
He's
about.
he's a music composer, movie scorer. And during the show, he said that you have a sheet that you go in with the director.
Mm-hmm.
And the director tells you at certain, time print,
Yeah.
I see this here. I see this here. This duration. I see this here, And they basically sat down and watched the whole freaking movie
Just
for him to score it, And then once he scores it, it could be him and 15 other composers.
right.
But once he scores it and takes it to the director, and then the director picks which ones he wants, and that's the one that gets the contract. And then they have to go in to where they go actually put it in the movie and all that.
Deal.
I mean, it's a big, huge deal. I didn't think it would be that big because I watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Remember that movie?
I do.
And what was his name? Peter? He was a movie scorer, but his girlfriend worked in the show that he was scoring, and it was just all dark, ominous tones, you know? And that's what I thought it was like. They just sat in a room with the screen and it played, and whatever they felt like, they just kind of added in, right then. And evidently it's different than that. So
Right.
it's more in depth.
That would be real. Yeah, down to the second of, okay, this is going to swell in here. We want it to get loud by this point. I mean,
Yeah.
down to a science.
Yeah. It's actually really cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it'd be something I'd like to do, but
For sure.
it'd just be dark, ominous tones.
Why not?
What's this key? Okay. That's it.
All right, we got it. Sounds good.
We're good. Okay. Moving on. We're going to move on to something else.
Okay.
See, I love that when I read that. She writes songs about inspiring girls to be the best that they can be.
That is something that's really, really important to me.
Her song, I Won't Live That Way Again.
Oh, man, that's a throwback.
See, I didn't even hear that song.
See, that's because that was a part of an EP that I had done around college time. I'd taken it down just because I didn't exactly have the budget at that time.
Yeah, but see, reading that, and I'm like, I want to hear it now.
Hey, I might still have a link to it somewhere. I went through a whole, David, I went through a crisis. So I thought, when I was talking about whether I should do the classic country, more contemporary country, and then I was like, screw it all, I'm going to do pop music. And then it was just it was all a whole time. But all of that, I'm very grateful for that time because working through all of that, going up different avenues, all good songs, in my opinion.
All right.
But it wasn't exactly the lane I needed to be in. I could feel it. And I was just never satisfied with it until, cutting my teeth and being in this town for a little while longer, learning a lot of things. And now I feel like I'm in a lane where I'm writing songs that are the most me that they've ever been. And
That's awesome.
More happy with what I'm doing now than, anything I've really done in my time.
See, I love that.
Playing before Charlie Daniels was pretty cool. All right, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was all right. That was cool.
Yeah.
But
I hated to see him pass away.
I know.
That was the other one that we always listened to all the time was
yeah,
Charlie Daniels. I mean, dude. I drive a truck for a living, and I was going across 840, and I seen the motorcycles coming and everything else. And out of respect, if I see a funeral or something, I always hit the shoulder of the road.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, it's just me. But I knew who it was.
Really?
I got out of the truck. I stood in front of the truck, and I took my hat off.
Oh.
And it just, I hated to see him go. I mean, he was such an icon.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys that, dude, he had a rough start. He had, you know, people wouldn't listen to him. People didn't like him. And he played just the club circuits for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing, everybody's timing hits differently. Like, I always kind of fall into the pit of, because there's artists that are freaking 16, 17 that are at all the award shows now. And, like, which, I mean, there's a lot of really talented ones. And so it's easy to get down being 26, ancient in music years.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding. But it compares.
You hear this shit? She's 20. Oh, my God.
I'm just an old hag now.
You know how old I am?
I'm messing with you.
No. Come on. You know how old I am?
I don't.
How old do I look?
21.
Bullshit. Come on, be realistic.
Okay, realistic?
Realistic.
I'm going to go.
And you're not going to insult me or hurt my feelings.
All right. 62.
Go get my belt.
You can't set me up like that. I was way over, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm 58.
I overshot because that's 58.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm 58. And I have been.
I was going to guess 59.
Well, I mean, I've had people guess me at 65. I've had them guess me at 42.
I could see that.
I'm just all over the map.
Me too. I was playing a show one time, and this lady, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably like a year ago. And this lady was like, "Oh my God, how old are you? We were taking bets. I think you're 14. And I said, "Lady, A, I don't know how many 14-year-olds have full hand tattoos.
Yeah, I mean,
but
really.
number two, if I sing and look like I'm 14, I should pack it up and go home right now. Honestly, that is not a compliment to me.
Yeah, I'm just done.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, cool. Cool.
I'm going to go put my feet on OnlyFans. I'm good.
I got a whole, I've worked for years and toured at my craft and got a whole degree in it and studied and did all this, but I come off like that's cool. All right. I love that.
Well, you know, that's kind of impressive if you think about it. If you did all that before you're 14, that's another Sheldon right there.
Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, that's fine.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I hear a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm sure you do as well.
Honey,
human experience.
Between the music industry and driving truck.
Yeah.
I've seen it more times than I want to.
Right. What is the craziest thing you've ever seen at a truck stop, like when you're stopping?
At a truck stop?
Yes.
The craziest thing I've ever seen. And just for the record, I had no participation in this whatsoever. We were in Florida.
It's a likely place for the craziest thing you've ever seen at a truck stop to happen at.
Not mentioning a truck stop, not mentioning a town.
All right.
But we were in Florida. And I was driving a big black Pete at the time. Beautiful truck. I miss that truck. Oh, God, I love that truck. But anyway, we were talking on the radio, cutting up, and it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Couldn't nobody get loaded till Monday. It's Saturday. So we're stuck. So one of the girls that worked at the truck stop said, "We'll take, and, you know, if y'all want something from the store or something like that." So one guy said, "Here's $100, buy a charcoal grill," and I think I kicked in 50 and a couple other guys kicked in some money. And then the next thing I know, somebody else has got a big ass cooler and there's beer and there's, and we're at a truck stop in front of the trucks in the parking lot.
I mean,
having a backyard party.
Concrete oasis.
One thing led to another. I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know how it got started. There was a couple of lot lizards, which are, for people that don't know, are ladies of the evening that hang out at truck stops. So, only thing I know is I looked up, and this guy was driving his truck in low gear with a completely naked woman sitting on the fifth wheel, getting fifth wheel grease all over her. And then the cop showed up. That's all I remember. Because when I seen the blue lights, I went straight to my truck and I shut it up.
I think that that's a good call if you see that scene at any time to just put it in, nope.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, but
the aftermath of that can't be good, right?
I don't know. I didn't even peek through the curtain. Don't care. I went to bed.
There's always that moment, like at a party or a gathering or something, where you're like, "Oh, that's happening. Okay, clearly it's time for me to be done."
Yeah, I'm gonna stand over here and laugh.
Yeah,
because I've been a people watcher.
Oh, it's great.
I love it, and if it's real fun, I might participate. But other than that, I'm gonna stand back and watch.
Depends on what we're doing.
It depends on what we're doing. Fishing, I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a big jump between the fifth grease and the fishing.
It's crazy. But yeah, that was the craziest thing that I've ever seen at a truck stop.
I could see that.
On the road, however, there's a lot of things I've seen that beat that by 100%. And no, I ain't going to. See, everybody told me when I started this podcast, I should just talk about truck stories.
Honestly, you should probably have like segment on the tail end of each one or something. I don't know.
No.
Sometime?
No.
Special edition truck stories?
No.
The people need to hear the truck stories.
No, they don't. You want to know why?
Why?
I'm going to give you a precise reason why. I'm not going to sit here and tell all the stories that I've experienced, witnessed, or even been a part of out there on that road. Because somebody will hear it and they'll take it as their story to make themselves look more interesting.
Oh, I could see that.
Because out in New Mexico, I stopped, was fueling up my truck, went inside, getting me some stuff because I was going out to LA. And I hear this guy wearing a particular brown hat on his head telling the most weirdest freaking story, and two younger, more greener truck drivers sitting there eating it all up, and he was like the king of the hill and all this other crap, and it screwed him up because I walked up and I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, "What's your handle?" And he said, "Lonesome Cowboy." And I said, "That's amazing because I've had that handle for 25 years. And and the story you just told these guys was not in a Kenworth. It was in that black Peterbilt sitting right outside."
So you overheard someone telling your story?
Telling a story.
Had you said it over the CB radio or something?
No. That story originated in Arizona because we were coming back and this girl heard me talking on the CB radio, and it was a husband-wife team, and we were running about, I think we was anywhere between 95 and 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And we caught up to them. And she flashed me. I flashed her back. And she said, "I'll bet you won't do that again." And I said, "How much?" and she bet me $20 that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So they got in the hammer lane, which is the fast lane. I was in the slow lane. I come running by them at about 90, 92, and I had my ass up in the window.
I mean,
and I got my $20.
$20 is $20.
At the next truck stop, I got my $20. So
There's a country song in there somewhere.
there's a bunch of country songs in there.
I mean, trucking is one of the most country things I think you can do, written about topics.
Well, I mean, you look at Jerry Reed and a bunch of
Eastbound
them.
and down, yo.
Yeah, there's all kinds of songs out there about trucking. Red Savine.
I meant to look this up before I came in here, but my friend showed me the song. It's real sad. It's about this kid who's, I guess, like sick. It's a country song.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets on the radio and is like talking to the truckers.
Talk to me, teddy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a really sad song.
That's one of those ones that every time. Cry.
And here's something funny for you. Am I getting that look? I don't know what you're doing. Anyway, this song by Jason Aldean, I was really surprised, did not do better than what it did.
What song?
This I Gotta See.
Oh.
And it's all talking about a truck driver
Oh, wow. Okay.
coming home to his wife. And he knows, she's, just got done with her bath. She's sitting on the front porch in his sweatshirt. And I forgot exactly how the song goes, but it's probably a good thing because I don't need Jason going, hey, you owe me money. But
Never want that.
yeah, but the name of the song is This I Gotta See.
Okay. I haven't heard that one.
And that's one of those songs that the way he sang it and the words, the wording of it and everything else, it about got me to cry because that whole song and the love and everything about it that's in that song is something I always wanted, but I never got.
Yeah.
And that's why I was surprised it didn't do better because it's a trucking song.
Yeah, you think that would really resonate with a large community of people.
Yeah. I mean, even tour bus drivers,
Yeah.
these guys go out, they don't see their families, but they're partying the whole time. But anyway,
I mean, if you've ever seen that show, that Mike Judge show, who does King of the Hill, Tales from the Tour Bus,
yeah,
shit, there's some crazy stuff.
but it's not like that anymore. It
No.
really isn't. I've
No.
got a buddy of mine. He drives tour bus, Tim Thurber,
Yeah.
and he's a great guy. He's out with, well, I don't know if I can say who he's out with right now.
He's out there.
Anyway, he's out with a big guy, with a deep voice. But anyway, they got to keep the buses clean. They got to keep the linens clean. They've got, if there's food or anything like that, half the time they're doing it,
Dang.
I mean, it's a rough job.
And I mean, I'm sure the throwing after parties on the tour bus a little bit, that probably hasn't changed as much from time to time. Well, it's not going to be the level that it used to be, but they're still going to have to deal with some definitely messy stuff.
Yeah, but see, they learned from back then.
I mean, it was just free for all back then.
Well, back then there was groupies and there was all kinds of stuff. I don't even know if there's groupies anymore.
I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure there's somewhere. Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Who even knows?
When are you releasing these songs? I want to know.
I want to know.
Well, actually, I don't need to know because I've already got them.
That is true. That's true. Now, if you log into that BMI and try to pass it off as you sing it, I'll be
No.
I'm messing with you. But
Our voices are way different.
are you sure? I didn't think that at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way I could sing that.
I mean, I was worried that like no one was going to be able to tell who was talking. I'm glad it's being videoed because.
Well, there is that.
I mean, I'm thinking either a little bit later this year or right at the beginning, early next year for the singles. I'm filming a music video on Monday.
Sweet.
Yes, I am.
Who's doing it?
Me and my friends and a ragtag group. No, they're not ragtag. I've just been very lucky to, throughout my experiences in town, just collect groups of people that are very good at what they do. So I've got a great band, some great sound people. We're doing it at D's in Madison, D's Country Cocktail Lounge.
Yeah.
I personally think it's like one of the last dive bars left over on that side of town, like truly country dive bar.
You need an extra as an old man sitting at a bar?
Honestly, hey, Monday, 9 a.m., you want to show up?
I'll be at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's got to pay for all this.
Right. Oh, man. But I'm really excited about that, and just the whole, this is just such a busy time getting everything together so that it's easier once they're released, but it's coming soon, and I'm about to head back into the studio to finish the rest of the record, which will be a little on down the line. Not too far, but these singles are coming much sooner.
Cool.
Rather than later.
I love it.
Me too. I'm really just excited about, where I'm at with it, and to feel very happy with these songs. And like I said, feel the most me I've ever been.
I can't wait to hear them. I mean, I really, really did love the Neon.
I'm really glad that you liked that. That's been the fan favorite so far as general polling.
Yeah.
The other one we do is, I think it is the only love song I've ever written, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it, but the Neon, I liked.
Thank you.
The Neon. I'm not saying the whole name of it, but you can
Neon
say that.
Lights.
But I really did like it.
I'm glad.
Okay. So this is the time where you get to say how long you think I've been on there.
Okay, well, it's not 62 years, so.
No, I'm talking about how long have we been on the show right now?
Oh, right now?
Yeah, you can't look at this.
I just looked at it. I'm so sorry.
Okay, see, you screwed up. You screwed up.
I mean, if I was just guessing, I would say like hour 20.
Yeah,
hour
you've already seen it.
I know, but if I took that out. But is that real? Like 2 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
That felt like nothing.
Yeah, that's what Seth said.
Probably in that exact accent as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
Seth Bunting, by the way. I don't know if we said his full last name. He's got a new song out.
No, I didn't say his last name.
Seth Bunting.
You want to know why I didn't say his last name?
What?
Because he didn't show up.
You're just going to be known first name. They're going to have no way to find you.
No show Seth. Oh, Lord. God, this has been a blast, girl.
This was really fun.
You're welcome back anytime.
Oh, my God. I would love to come back.
Yeah, you just got to holler at her.
I'll just show up, bang on the door.
Well, we can do that, too. Or you jammies.
Right? I think I got something.
There you go. All right. So, anyway, this is a pivoting point right here now, okay?
Oh, hell. I feel the pressure.
Look in that camera right there. There you go. Tell everybody where they can find you. Not your home address. I'm talking about your socials.
So my social security number, right?
No.
Perfect. So
BR549.
yeah, it's 543. All right. So if you want to follow me and stay up to date on these songs and what I'm doing, you can find me Brittany Bishop on Facebook or Brittany Lane Bishop on Instagram. That is BrittanyLanebishop. And I've also got a website up and running, BrittanyBishop.com. So I'll be keeping you updated there. These songs are coming sooner than you think. So I'm excited. Go find them.
Oh, I'm going to love it. I can't wait. And then, as soon as they come out, I'm just going to throw them out there.
I would love that. Hey.
Look, and this is what I tell everybody else. Mm-hmm. We all got to help each other nowadays. Yeah. Because if we don't, who is? And how much are they wanting to charge?
Literally.
I mean, that's cut and dry right there.
Yeah.
And if all the independents can get together and share follow, YouTube, subscribe to each other. You'd have your 1,000 right then.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no telling how many numbers you could get, you know?
I think in such a cutthroat town like Nashville is, like with the competition, the saturation, I think the only way to make it through is find people you care about, find people you love, and support them and bring them up with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the stomping other people down or trying to get ahead of, I think everybody wins when everybody wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I get on my soapbox.
Right. And then we're here for 3.
But anyway, everybody, please go to Brittany stuff, like, share, follow, subscribe.
Would love it if you did.
Yeah, I'd love it if they'd subscribe to mine. I don't know what's going on. You know, you get over 1,000 friends, and you figure they would go subscribe,
Right.
help you out.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're like 138. Interesting.
I was talking to some artists the other day because you can see on Spotify what cities like people were listening to your songs through.
Yeah, you can do that on YouTube too.
Yeah, and they had somebody from a specific town tell them, "Oh, I loved it" or whatever, and there was nothing for that town. They obviously had not listened to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the way it goes. It's crazy. All right, girlfriend. Really enjoyed it. And
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
I think we ought to call Seth and just bug the hell out of him.
No, I know it.
It's going to be fun. All right, y'all. Like I said, remember, like, share, subscribe, follow. This is how people are actually getting to book shows now. It's not about their talent. It's not about anything else. These booking agents are looking at their numbers. If you want your favorite artist to come to your town, help them get their numbers up. Get those numbers up. Get them in your town. Y'all get to go down there, buy some merch, hang out. And look, I'm telling y'all, a lot of these artists right now are loving the VIPs. They're loving the freaking hangout after the show, talking to people, signing autographs. The indie music people right now are just like blowing it out of the water with loving their fan base. And it is awesome. I love it. And if you get time, help me out too. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Listen to my Buzzsprout is my podcast host, but I'm also on 16 channels wherever you get a podcast. And there is a basically support the show link, a little PayPal link. If anybody would like to help me pay for some of this stuff, and maybe we can get some better equipment. Maybe we can do some giveaways, do some different things, which in November or October, which one I want to do? October? Did you hear I said that? Which one do I want to do? And then I turn around and ask you. That made no sense. But anyway.
The glue.
In October, I'm going to do another giveaway. And I'm going to pick a question. Y'all pick the answer. Make sure you put it out there. And I'm probably going to do it on Facebook like I did again the last one I did. And y'all get to win some free merch. Oh, yeah. Buy people's merch, man. These guys are designing their own stuff. It's a whole nother creative process that is just gorgeous. I mean, I love it. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, Miss Brittany.
Thank you, David. This has been awesome.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later. See me more later. Bye.